Hello there! I will present to you the historical perspective of the foundation of the guidance tradition. This is Adeza the Antique, and let's start with the pioneers of guidance tradition. So first, let's start with John Amos Comenius. John Amos Comenius was a master intellect and educator who wrote the first illustrated children's book that have been used in Europe and North America for almost 200 years. He believed that early childhood education process should adhere to the interest and sense of the child rather than the guidelines of the teacher. His ideas about instruction and child guidance has described as free from corporal punishment, where a classroom should provide a safe and a happy place. Next, we have Johann Pestalozzi and Robert Owen. Johann Pestalozzi was an advocate on the integrated children education that addresses the hand, heart, and mind, while Robert Owen was a business leader who believed that children should be cared for and educated before becoming industrial workers. It was Pestalozzi's idea, supported by Owen, that children can learn best through physical and social interactions. Next, we have Friedrich Froebel. He was the originator of kindergarten, which means child's garden. He believed that kindergarten guided children in their learning with positive guidance, wherein innate impulses of the child could harmoniously develop through playing and play-like active experiences. He also gave emphasis on children expressing feelings and thoughts through rhythm, dancing, music, language, and drawing. Another pioneer is Maria Montessori. She was the first woman physician in Italy who specialized in pediatric psychiatry. She believed that mental deficiency was more a problem of teaching and learning, not strictly a medical matter. She designed childcare from custodial to educational, where there is emphasis of the teaching of practical life skills in which children learn through responsible decision making in a prepared environment. Another pioneer is John Dewey. He was known as architect progressive of education in the United States. He believed in a child learning environment where children are given freedom of choice in the classroom that suggests an interactive rather than dictatorial discipline. He also emphasized the development of democratic life skills. So in this note, let's talk about the mid-20th century influences on the guidance tradition. The developmental and the self-psychologists. Now we have Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget was a Swiss psychologist who has a viewpoint with Montessori that the developing child learns most effectively by interacting with the environment. He shared with Dewey's view that education must be a cooperative endeavor, and that discipline must respect and respond to this fact. He believed that the child constructs meaning through learning experiences by interacting with social and physical environment. Next is Alfred Adler. He was an Austrian psychiatrist who saw adult guidance that is encouraging without being permissive or dictatorial as central, leading to adults able to actualize their potentials in socially responsive ways, which is known as principles of Adlerian psychology into the classroom. The self-psychologists are Combs in 1962, Erikson in 1963, Maslow in 1962, Parkey in 1970, and Rogers in 1961. They see themselves positively who conducted numerous studies of self-image as the primary dynamic of human behavior. They believed that the need of educators to be responsive to the feelings of children in the class and to teach healthy self-concepts and positive self-esteem. Their study findings says that children who feel positively about themselves get along better with others and do better in school. Now we have Rudolf Drickers. He was an advocate of the application of social science principles to classroom management. He contributed to the movement towards positive discipline. His first contribution was the leaders that should be leaders rather than bosses. His second contribution is about distinction between encouragement and praise. He believed that social acceptance is a significant factor in children's behavior. And so he gives importance on the specific acknowledgement of child's effort and progress. Another influence is Hein Ginot. He contributed on articulation theory of the guidance tradition. His study nurtured the caring spirit that infuses the guidance tradition, that to reach a child's mind, a teacher must capture the heart through examining how we respond and acquire new knowledge of acceptance. So how does the 1980s and the obedience-based discipline influence? The obedience-based discipline emphasized with increased understanding about how young children learn. The predominant program was Cantor's assertive discipline, a take-charge approach for today's educator, which provides a consistent system of rewards and punishment both within a classroom and across school or district, which enlists the cooperation of parents. However, the emphasis on obedience inadequately prepares children to function in a democracy. Let's talk about the effect of obedience-based discipline to students. It does not allow for individual circumstances in which children who make innocent mistakes suffer. It causes humiliation and can begin a process of negative self-fulfilling prophecy. Students can be stigmatized by the punishments grow immune to the system. And yes, the emphasis on obedience inadequately prepares children to function to a democracy. Let's talk about the effect of this obedience-based discipline to teachers and to parents. To teachers, it reduces the ability to use professional judgment. It cannot adopt democratic teaching styles necessary for developmentally appropriate practice. And teachers may become technicians rather than professionals. On the other hand, the effect to parents. Parents find themselves awed with teachers and administrators with soliciting parental compliance because of the so-called family contracts. And this assertive discipline regarded as negative education policy by most of the parents. And that ends the summary of the historical perspective on the foundations of a guidance approach. Thank you for watching.